Hey guys, it's a wrap here, but not quite. And, humans can never agree on anything these days. Look at how people fight. Look at how people attack each other. But there's one thing that we can all agree on. And I know for a fact that everyone who's watched this video has had a love interest at some point. Most of you have gone on dates. Some of you have gone further. I'm not gonna. Yeah. So there's and especially if you've gone on dates or gone further, um, how do I? It's very difficult, to put it lightly. Dating is hard, and there's a lot of people out there who are trying to explain it, and a lot of people who are giving out this advice online, and some of it's well intentioned, some of it's meant to prey on insecurities of people, right? But I'm going to give you my perspective on why I think dating is hard, and why, from a man's perspective, why women seem so selective. And it's not for the reasons that are commonly said. I don't think it's because of evolution. I don't think any of that. I think it really boils down to societal, social structures that we've set up, and stuff that men included continue to reinforce into women. The reason that I think that women are so selective, to put it short, is because women are afraid of being slut-shamed. Will I get demonetized? I don't even make money off this channel yet, so I don't think it matters. But that's what I think the problem is. All these people online, this Jordan Peterson and these Far From Average and all these other channels and everything, yes, those are real channels and people. They've all gone nuts, and they've gone way too far, and they go, oh, well, it's all based on the millions and millions of years ago. There's a special gene mutation, and the evolutionary psychology dictates that women choose men, and women do this, and women do that. And everyone believes it, and everyone just eats it up. Well, guess what? That's actually got holes in the logic there. In fact, if you go back just over 100 years ago, women had no choice in mating. Men took a wife for themselves. Men married a woman. A woman didn't marry a man. Men took a wife for themselves. So and it's been that way throughout history. It's just when women started gaining more notoriety in society, like in the last century or so, that's when women have started having a choice. So no, we're not apes. These doofuses go online and post on their channels going, you have to act all alpha and macho, and you have to beat your chest and act arrogant, and all the women will just fall all over you, and that's garbage. Just forget it. Forget that. I can tell you from a guy who's experienced a decent amount of dating that is the worst advice you could ever take from anyone, ever. Don't ever go out there and beat your chest. That's the worst thing you can. I mean, I'm talking figuratively. I'm not even meaning it literally. If you do it literally, you're on another level of stupid. But what I do think works, and why it works, has to do, and it's also, it has to do, how do I phrase it? It depends on the person that you're trying to attract. Typically, I think if the person is more insecure, especially if it's a woman, usually the more insecure women are going after the higher confidence guys, the guys who act all macho and everything, because they're trying to fill that void of emotional security in themselves, and they think that that's going to fill it. In other words, or like they think their values, they're chasing the guy of higher value because they think he has something that they don't, and they think they're missing out, and they want to get that. That's the basic concept of value. Social value, sexual value, dating value, anything. anything emotional, human value, that's what we're talking about, is trying to attain a higher status for yourself, therefore going after what is higher status. That's the bottom line of that. That was diagonal. The bottom line, I had to do that. So yeah. So I'm going to reiterate again what I think, and it's that it's not about this evolutionary psychology. In fact, like I said, if you go back like 100 years or a little over that, it's the opposite. Men chose women all the time. Women had no say. And yeah, so clearly millions of years ago, women weren't the selectors or anything. I mean, it's just ridiculous. All of human history before recent times has been, no. Women didn't even get to like choose anything. Their life was like dictated for them beforehand. So yeah. I think the reason now women do act that way nowadays in our society, women do act very choosy, women do act very selective, if that's the right term for it. But I think the reason for that is not evolution. Like I've said, I think the reason for that is social constructs that have been set up by our society, especially American society, where the man, especially in the olden days, like in the 50s and 60s, it was very, very much a patriarchal society. The man had to woo the woman, the man had to court her, and do all of that. That was all social constructs. That wasn't evolutionary based. That's just how it turned out. And some men hated it, some women hated it, but that was how it was. So, and I think we're still kind of living in that today. That hasn't completely worn off. Now, how do I say? I don't want to offend anyone, obviously, but I'm not gonna like hold back on what I'm trying to say. But it's that men and women are both the problem. Men go online, especially these incels, these people who have they don't go out and develop themselves. They go online and they talk about, oh, well, I can't get a woman, and I can't get the ladies never look at me and never like me and never do this. And then when ladies do show interest in them, they slut shame ladies. They shame them. They push them away. Oh, she's too needy because she showed interest in me, and this and that, and this. It's ridiculous. Like, come on, you hypocrite. If you go out and claim women don't like you and then push the ones that like you away, that doesn't even make sense. And then you wonder why you're alone with your right hand. That's why. And women are just responding to that dynamic by going, okay, I don't want to be socially branded as an outcast. I don't want to be slut-shamed. I don't want to be shamed for showing interest. Okay, I'll act selective. Okay, I don't have to do the work. This is what we've told them. Women go, oh, I don't have to do the work. I don't have to ask him out. I'll get approached by 5 or 10 men or something or whatever. Because men do the approaching. And I'll leave that up to them because it's a painful thing to put yourself out there. It's tough. And nobody wants to do it. Men do it because they won't get a girl otherwise. Men do it and still don't get a girl otherwise for the reasons I said. So, to put a long story short, I'm just going to reiterate one more time what I was saying from start to finish. It's not evolutionary psychology. I can debunk that just by looking at the history a few centuries ago, even a little bit more recent than that women had no choice. There was no such thing. Women were selected by the man based on what he saw fit. And that was that, and that was her life. She was destined to the kitchen. It was bad, and I'm glad we changed. And we're different now. And also, to explain the behavior that women have towards men in this day and age, it has to do with our social constructs. Like I said, when women do show interest, they're slut-shamed, they're shamed, they're told they can't do that by the same men who go online and complain, oh, women don't like me, women don't show interest, women don't do this, don't do that. I mean, but these men go out there, I mean, they're hypocrites, and they end up alone crying and wonder why, and then it's stupid. So if you have a problem with women being selective and not liking you, first of all, you should work on yourself to be more attractive. That's one thing, because even I can do that. Look at this. I can do that myself. I have flaws. I'm always working. But also, as a society, we can stop shaming women for showing interest. Then women would ask guys out more. Women would have more interest in men. If we stopped telling them it was wrong for them to do so. You see where I'm going? That's the reason why girls are so hard to attract, because they've been told to. They're scared. They're not going to show interest in a guy. Oh yeah, and another thing I didn't mention is the risks too. It's harder for a woman to go about that stuff a little bit because of, the female body. If a guy were to go out and have intercourse or something, he could go on with his day more than likely. But a woman, if she were to go out and do that, there's UTIs. It's a lot more common in women than men. There's pregnancy. There's all kinds of complications that men don't have. So women are, in that case, the smart women at least, are a lot more reluctant to jump into physical relationships with men for that principle. Now the smart ones, when it's not referring to sex, it's like that's off the table. But I mean, the problem is everyone, especially men. So yeah, thanks for watching.